You're listening to a pre-recorded show.
Now back to the Weekend Real Estate Report on 105.7 The Fan.
All right, welcome back. And we have two more great guests, two great realtors. Tony Zowd, who's been on the show plenty of times, and he's brought a co-worker along, Michelle Dean. In the prior two segments, we brought on the chair of the Maryland Mortgage Bankers Legislative Committee and talked about some of the recent bills that just passed. You'll be hearing about them soon, that could impact consumers, could impact, the housing and lending industry. And that's the job of that legislative group, which I'm on. And we try to, educate the legislative branch and then also the lobbyists about, hey, this sounds great, but here's the repercussions. Anyway, now I want to bring on two great realtors and talk about just the housing market. And Michelle, I'll go with you first. So I had a realtor on my show in Pennsylvania who, she was talking about, man, people sometimes think I'm just a glorified door opener. They have no idea how much work I do. And I said, well, good. Tell me about it. But with you, let's talk about what do you do, specifically you as a realtor? What can you do to help a client not only sell a house, but maybe get top value for it?
I would say, first of all, we have an overview of the whole process we see the beginning all the way to the end. And so we know problems to anticipate. We know how to make the transition from one part of the transaction to the next. So we have an overview so we can anticipate any problems that might come up. I think what a realtor offers is we have a good idea of the market and what's going up and down and what's showing and what shows well and what shows doesn't. So it enables us to be able to help a seller price a property or a buyer if it is a good price. I think we also have a good touch on marketing and being able to bring in the best buyer pool for a seller. We also are constantly going to training, meeting with other realtors. So we have a really good network with other realtors and keeping those relationships. We also know once a transaction is in process, how to negotiate those deals. We also have been trained in all the documents that a buyer or seller needs to sign. And so we can answer questions and make them feel comfortable with what they are signing. And then specifically guiding them through the whole process, providing support. I know, for example, one of my first transactions, their basement flooded. So I went over there, got a shop vac and helped them get all the water out. I have recently had a seller move to Taiwan and he wasn't able to do everything. So I took my son over there and we mulched and mowed the lawn and we're ready to list. So I think our responsibilities vary, but yeah, we offer a lot and very much needed to make the transaction smooth.
Absolutely. And again, I think in this market, a lot of people would think, okay, look, houses are selling very easily. I'll just do a FSBO, for sale by owner. You don't really see much of them because I think most people realize it is a complicated transaction, but less complicated when you hire the right professionals. Tony, if you wanted to chime in just on that.
Yeah, in all honesty, it's a numbers game, right? So as a normal citizen or, just a private property owner, you don't have the reach that a realtor has. Like Coldwell Banker, we list you on over 725 websites internationally. So our buyer pool is going to be a lot larger. And the more buyers we can bring in that front door, the more likely you are to get multiple offers, to escalate. You make more money because there's more eyes on the property. So that's probably one of the biggest things we do. Our marketing reach is huge compared to, somebody that just owns their home that's not into it. And then you get into holding the deals together from everything from the negotiation point. We've talked about it before, like you have basically 3 points of negotiation, which is the initial offer, the home inspection, and the appraisal. We help you get through that and make sure that we can, save you the most money. That's our job. So most of us work by referral to have our name passed on.
Absolutely. So a couple things too. I know you want to talk about this a little, Michelle, is the importance of communication. And I can't stress that enough, not just with the realtor, but with their lender, with their title company, and also with their HR department, with their HOI company. Because if any of those, the HOI, the employer, whatever, takes their time, has a little bit of apathy, it delays the whole entire process and makes everything more stressful for everyone involved. But communication is so key. And I think, that's something that I wanted you to sort of just talk about, maybe from personal experience, but why it's so important.
Yeah, I just, it's a big transaction. It's a big experience to buy or sell a home. And you need to surround yourself as a homeowner or as a home buyer with people that you trust. And so I think building that trust and rapport is essential. And you do that with communication, and you learn less about like details. I mean, you need to know what they're looking for, but more about their story and why they're doing what they're doing, and better understand who they are as a person. So then you better know how to, if you're representing them as a buyer, what they're looking for beyond, 5 bedrooms, 3 baths, or, just that they want a big backyard because they have a lot of kids, or so it's a personal touch. And then you're managing their expectations. Everybody comes into a situation with an expectation. Some are realistic, some might not be. And so you can kind of set those clear guidelines and guide them through what's a reasonable expectation. And then if it's something that's really important to them, using negotiating and helping them meet those expectations throughout the process, answering any questions, any concerns, because there's always going to be something that arises. And because you have, like I said earlier, the overview of the transaction, you can anticipate issues or problems. And so you can help alleviate those concerns and answer those questions and be that mediator, like you said, between the title company, between the lender, between the other side of the transaction. You can be that advocate for your client, and then just help them problem solve and guide them through the process.
Yeah, and I think it's important too for people. A lot of people feel like, I'm just going to go online and find the best rate. And then what happens is they end up getting a realtor from there as well. And what happens is you're finding online lenders who probably can't get loans closed, which is why they're advertising, fictitious rates. But you're also being introduced to, maybe not great realtors as well. It's important for buyers to understand the importance of choosing not just a great realtor, but a good lender, because that's what's going to get your loan approved. And I know, Tony, you and I've talked about this a bunch of times. Sometimes, you've submitted offers with us as the lender, and it wasn't the highest offer, but it was the one that was accepted because the selling agent's like, oh yeah, I know these guys, it's going to get approved. So I think that's important. And then also, the realtor, the work that you guys do, and the knowledge and the database, and, having someone, Michelle, like a mentor like Tony, who has all this experience that can help you if you come across something you haven't seen before. I mean, that's a great package that I think most sellers and buyers need to really fully understand. You want to touch on that a bit?
Yeah, so you definitely need a good team. Like you said, it's everything from the lender to the title company to your insurance to your real estate agent, because that's your team that's taking you to the finish line. And a funny story, and I hadn't told you this, but I told Kevin, I'm licensed in Maryland and PA, and I've been recently showing up in PA a lot. And I had a client that was interested in a home, and it said you had to use their preferred lender. You don't usually see that in the listing, mm-hmm. right? A lot of times I'll push title companies, but you don't usually see a preferred lender on a normal sale. So I called up the agent. We're getting ready to write an offer. And I was like, so who's your preferred lender? And they were like, Freedmont Mortgage. We want you to go through Freedmont.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
It's all through on this house. Freedmont has already looked into it for us, and they want us to use Freedmont. And I was like, well, that's great, because I'm working with Kevin Murphy.
So that's the reason, because I didn't know anyone in Pennsylvania was doing that. I mean, hey, more power to them.
Kevin, Carl, or John, he said, any of those guys, he said, we're good to go. So we ended up writing the offer, and we got it. So that tells you the strength of having like a good team. Like, it was like you said, from the realtor to the lender to your title company, because we're your advocates. Like, we're going to put this together and work on your behalf to get you to the line. And these competitive situations, those little things stand out. It's not always the highest offer, but it's your complete package.
Well, I'll tell you what, just made me think of a marketing slogan that for us and you to use. It takes a village to buy a house.
There you go.
Dad jokes. I'll be here all week. So let's talk about preparing to sell, because that's important. I know there's companies out there that'll come in and then renovate the house and they get paid afterward, things like that. But Tony, one of the things I love about you is you come from a construction, family and background. So, people are getting an added bonus when you come in because you can look at something like, oh yeah, this is going to need repairs. This is going to need this and that. But, a lot of times it's cleaning up the house, decluttering, sometimes a little bit of landscaping, things like that. Let's touch about that for the next couple of minutes.
Yeah. So I'll start with that. So we train everybody on our team to actually not just be door openers, to go through and like look through stuff. And it's funny that you said my background. So because Michelle and her husband owns a construction company and they do fix and flips. So she has a lot of experience in that too. We try to be more than just that door opener. So when you come in, like we're looking for problems already in the house. We're not doing an inspection, but there's some obvious things if you just look past the pretty granite countertops that you could see and point out the buyers before they ever get under. So that's a big part of what we do on the team. And we have people like Michelle who have that background. There's a few other agents on the team that have the background, but we train everybody to do that so we can show you the benefit of the house and also show you the negative. So if you do decide to write that offer, you know what you're getting into.
Makes sense. And Michelle, when someone hires you, what's your elevator pitch on why they should hire you to sell their house, but also how you get it ready?
Well, like Tony said, I actually in some way have always been connected to the real estate market. My dad owned a painting company growing up. Like I said, my husband, we have done flips. He owns a contracting company. And so I have been connected. It was just a natural transition for me to go into be a realtor. And I love every minute of it. And we definitely work together, my husband and I, with that. And I've learned a lot from him about the construction process and what's reasonable and what's not. So yeah, I definitely have years and years of experience, both as a realtor, but also personally. We've made mistakes and we've learned from those mistakes. And so I feel like that is a wealth of information. So the clients that we work with don't make those same mistakes.
Excellent. And how can people reach you guys?
So the easiest way is just go to our website, theintegrityplusnetwork.com. And you can see the whole team, see our backgrounds, everything. So we have nice bios on there and you can pick and choose. My phone number is 443-610-9462. And Michelle?
My number is 301-543-0416. I would love to hear from you.
And you can Google Integrity Plus Network and find everyone there, both Tony and Michelle and the whole team. They do such an amazing job. And I'm glad you guys are in PA now too. That's really cool, Tony.
We're trying to branch out a little bit.
Yeah. I know. I mean, you go all over the place and it's good. I mean, I think, again, we joke all the time when you're on about the 80-20 rule, and I always think it's like 90-10 now when it comes to realtors. But I think a lot of the things that are going on, the inflation, a little bit higher rates, this proposed settlement, all those things, I think what will happen is it'll probably, clean out the industry. And what's going to happen, and it'll be great for you, but also great for consumers. It's going to leave the best, right? The ones who are making a true living out of doing this because they're good at it. They know what they're doing. They put the consumer first. So we're really, really honored and privileged to work with you guys and appreciate the relationship. If anyone is looking for a realtor, please give them a call. You can find them at Integrity Plus Network. You can ask for Tony or Michelle or anyone on that team, and they do such an amazing job. And of course, if you need a mortgage, we're here for you, even on Sundays, weekends, nights, whatever the case may be. You can find us at 800-955-8508 or Freedmont, FREEDMONT.com, NMLS number 1846. Of course, social media, we got some great open houses, tips, everything else going on there. We never charge an application fee, and we give a complimentary home warranty, and we offer all the great bond programs, no money down, etc. So we're here to help you, and because we don't charge an application fee, we'll go over all your options, and then if you don't have a realtor, we'll match you. Real quick, with the 1 minute left, tell people how to reach you guys.
Yep. Easiest way, you go to integrityplusnetwork.com or you can call us direct 443-610-9462.
301-543-0416.
All right. I appreciate you guys making time on a busy Sunday. I know you're out there showing houses and helping consumers. So thank you for taking time out to educate our audience and our listeners. Have a great Sunday, everybody. And if you need us, again, we're here for you. We'll give you a pre-approval today if you need it. 800-955-8508. Enjoy the rest of the day. We'll talk to you next Sunday.